Feature Friday.
The freshest. I love that.
Let's perhaps then, because we're talking now about pop, let's perhaps then go all the way back. I don't know when this performance was, but it was in mix, so it's probably like early 2000s.
2005.
2005. And let's look at what the Philippines considers, and what I would agree with as well. She's a very impressive performer, and it's none other than Sarah Geronimo.
Okay,
in terms of pop.
consider
But I think she's gonna sing some like ballad shit.
I think so.
Let's go! I love Sarah's ballad, bro. Same as like KZ, I love her slow stuff. Oh man, it's so good. Anyways, go on.
Turn up.
Yeah, it is ballad.
2005 low-rise jeans. That is the look.
She embodies that look really well.
Yeah.
That's like the Sarah look, bro.
You say that you've always been true.
Yeah, sing it, girl.
Looking in your eyes, I see you lie.
Come
You're
on.
trying hard to hide that everything I knew was love in you. How could you try pretending your love was never ending? When I have loved you more than anyone could do.
Damn.
You believe the pain that I'm feeling now because of loving you.
Brilliant. Oh, come on.
Yeah, look.
She is great.
So Mother and I, and Mother, Bale and I, we're just discussing, like, we were just talking about different industries and stuff like that. And we came to the conclusion, both Bale and I, that, I mean, we've said this publicly, so I don't care saying it on the podcast again. And I think the Philippines probably has the best pedigree in terms of vocals, in terms of singing. Because the natural, what would you call it? The common denominator in the pop industry, especially because that's what Sarah is kind of known as. So we'll judge her based on that. The common denominator, look at the charts nowadays. You tell me who has that type of quality in this environment. 100% raw, live, right? That's a charting pop artist. You can count them with your hand, and just the left one. That's it. Especially of the new generation.
That's true.
Rena Grande is outstanding. Camila Cabello is really good to her own right. Billie Eilish does well. I don't think she'd do well in this environment, but she does well in other environments. She's very impressive. Lady Gaga, she's not sort of new generation, but you know what I mean. But she's fucking impressive.
Adele.
Beyonce, but Adele is not new generation. They're like,
Yeah, but so it's Beyonce.
exactly, like Beyonce, Adele, Lady Gaga. They're not new generation. They're sort
Yeah.
of, they're in
They're
that odd
contemporary to each
situation.
other,
Exactly,
yeah.
they're in that odd situation, which is like
They're
it's not
already
early-
consolidated.
Yes. It's like who else? Like nowadays, you know, Yeba, but she's like, I guess you could kind of new generation because she's blown up now.
Yeah. No, that she's like, yeah, but you're correct.
You know, but she's not a pop artist. She's an alternative artist.
that's
As
right.
alternative as it gets.
Which is so freaking good. Though.
So it's like I can name them with my hand, and do correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe both hands. I'll be fair. But the common denominator isn't to have this type of pedigree as a pop vocalist. You're not meant to be able to have this high of skill
So
in
there's-
singing.
Yeah, I think what happens with popular music is that a lot of the times the foundation gets neglected, and that's not the case for the Filipino music industry. The foundation is everything. Thereafter, you can build, you can experiment, you can make pop and make it work in environments like Wish and I mean, I'm pretty impressed with the girls from G22. That type of music does not work in live environments at all. And then you see it with guys like SB19, and they make the ballads sound outstanding. But what is more impressive to me is how they make the pop
Tracks
pop tracks that are literally all made in studio, and they're meant to be just good in studio. They're not supposed to be great sounding like in a live performance, because it's all about the performance. It's about what they bring on stage, the type of hype that they create on stage. It's completely different. So they're tailor-made for that. But the fact that they can make them work in environments like this, in environments like Wish, that talks about that talks volumes about the foundation of the singers themselves.
And it comes down to what I've always said: the market sets the damn demand.
That's
the
right.
Filipino market is really tough because the perceived standard of singing, it's so high. It's so unrealistic in comparison to what it is in other parts of the world. In terms of like people wouldn't even. The thing is, it's really hard to understand that the demand and the expectation of live music in the Philippines, in places like the Philippines, it's so fucking high.
Well, I know a lot of friends that are musicians and have worked in the Philippines a lot of times before, that they say that
But they were foreigners, we mean.
Yeah, they say that one of the toughest crowds to please is the Filipino crowd, because the
guys know music.
expectations, exactly, the standards of the audience, like what the audience is expecting on a live performance, is so high that even the Western standards are not good enough. So people have to really step up their game when they go to the Philippines, and I totally understand why.
And I'm not blowing, like, I'm not just saying this to saying it. I'm not chatting shit, as they say.
No, it's a fact. It's a known fact.
The TV is the best example I've got of that.
Yeah.
Look at Filipino TV music, and then look at any other
From any other
industry
place in the
music.
world. Yeah.
One's real, one isn't. I'll let you choose which one is. One has world-class singers putting it all on the line, betting their house on the line, betting on their technique, on their foundation of being able to sing under pressure.
Their whole image is on the line.
And they're doing it raw, 100%. And then there's other industries.
Where they guard.
Yeah,
They protect the artist.
And obviously, you know, some of the ones where it says the image is a big deal. I mean, obviously the South Korean industry is very serious on that. But I don't mean the South Korean industry. I mean it like, you look at the US.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really particular one that I'm not afraid to sort of point out, because it's something that they've done so. It's like it's expected. I mean, to a certain extent, you know, you're going to TV perform, you're not going to sing live. Which I have to give credit to, like people like Jimmy Kimmel and the Fallons, the Jimmys.
The Jimmys.
They are letting them actually give me some raw sound. The concern is you're bringing people like Lil Baby on, or you're bringing people, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, maybe they keep that shit. You know, maybe they keep the studio sound. But when you bring people like Phineas, let that motherfucker sing.
Yeah.
Because he's good enough. You know what I mean? Definitely good enough. When you bring Yeba onto the show, let her sing, please.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna hurt her stock by not being able to show her magic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In a live performance.
But again, it takes special individuals, and I think there are very few. They're very rare.
Yes.
Right now in the industry, and I'm gonna quote.
I don't know if this is controversial to say, because I'm such a saying names and stuff, but.
I'm gonna quote other musicians that they're like Masego. He tweeted the other day, like halfway through the pandemic, he was like, believe me, real music will make a comeback real soon, because it's true. It's like there's a hunger, there's a new demand in the global market. But I think the Philippines has always been like that.
That's why my approach with the Philippines is like protect at all costs.
Literally, it's a gem of the world.
It's what I think the world should be copying in terms of
Yes,
standards of live music.
I agree.
Because it makes the music industry better. But again, I don't want to blow anyone's horn. Anyways, go on.
Continue, Sarah. Please do.
You hurt me this way. Everything I knew was loving you. How could you try to tell your love was never ending? Now you can't even say that you would stay. How could you say you love me when you would go and leave me? How could you make me hurt so bad?
Her freaking body language is so
truly
nice to
invested.
look at it.
And mistakes are gonna happen. Things are gonna go right. Things are gonna go wrong. She's gonna be sharp in some moments. She's gonna be perfect in others. That's live music.
Yeah.
Live music isn't flawless. That shit doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's not real, bro.
Totally agree.
I'd much rather give me something real at world class level. Yes, sure, but than something like that's perfect and it's not real. It's like, fuck off.
It's true.
It's
Like,
like-
what's the value behind that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no value.
I don't want to
there's
watch
no charm.
robots play tennis. I want to watch real people play tennis. When they miss,
Yeah.
even if they're at number one in the world, when they lose, when
Yeah.
they win, when they break a racket, when they're showing emotion.
Absolutely.
I see real stuff. With music, I don't know why the standard is so different. But anyways, go on. It's just been in my mind lately, it's pissing me off.
I agree, but her body language is so charismatic. Also, her vocal mannerisms, they really come to shine in this type of like the songs. They really become really tangible, which is really nice.
When I have loved you more than anyone can do, can't believe the pain that I'm feeling now because I'm loving you.
Good resolution.
I can't seem to understand how can love be so unkind. Still broke my heart despite what I've done. I can't take it anymore. How could you say you love me when
Yes.
you would go and leave me?
That was so strong.
To make me hurt so bad.
Yeah.
That I'm feeling now because of loving you.
Can you see the abdominal wall working there?
Was she really?
Of loving you.
Bravo!
That was a difficult ass song,
bravo.
mate.
You know what? She was holding back. She was holding back towards that climax of the song. So the falsettos that we were focusing on earlier were actually her holding back,
Really
and
controlled.
it was really clear here in the abdominal wall release that where is it? Must be around here.
Make me hurt so bad when I have loved you more than anyone can do. Can't believe
Okay, so if you pay attention, guys, pay attention
tummy.
here in this part of the tummy.
the pain that I'm feeling now because of loving you.
Did you see that big release?
Yeah.
That big release. So in theater technique, what she did, that she released the breath down to her tummy, to her abdominal wall, all the way down here. Yes, go ahead. Woo, woo, woo.
I don't think they can tell though, because I'm wearing
Because
black.
you're wearing black.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, the point is that the whole breath released to the bottom, like to the bottom of the tummy. So that's great technique. But to make it better, to amplify that technique, what actually happens is that you leave it in that position. You don't let it bounce back, because that bouncing back actually creates tension in the abdominal wall. But because this is a delicate type of song, and her approach is so acoustic, the tension that she's creating in the abdominal wall therefore translates really into a really delicate airflow. So she's controlling there how much breath and how much texture she actually can find in the vocal folds. So it's all a game of adjusting techniques to adhere to the best performance of the song.
Yeah, I think it's also, that's what I mean. It's
It's
like,
really good.
that type of performance is adamant to what we're kind of discussing, because if you have enough technique and foundation to rely on during difficult moments like those, you are allowed then to put yourself on the line, because you have that technique to sort of fall back on, not just sort of natural talent or vocal mannerisms or how well something is mixed or how well something's being mastered or how well you're listening to yourself. You're really relying on your technical ability and your technical fortitude. How strong has that foundation been built
laid,
on and
yeah.
laid on?
Yeah, this particular song, this particular track it's strongly,
Oddly difficult.
yeah, it's oddly difficult, and it's not because of how the song has been structured, or not because of the key change per se, because that was actually the easier part for her, is the holding back towards that climax and then still maintaining the fragility of the song itself. That's what's actually really difficult, because you're not singing to the maximum of your ability. You're not engaging in 100% of physical singing, which the songs tend to push you that way. So you're physically pulling back, and then you could see that tension building in the abdominal wall, and that physical release towards the end was a shout of relaxation of the body. It was like is a reflex, but at the same time it's a reflex built upon great technique. You know.
Okay.